Welcome to another episode of And the Geek Shall Inherit the Earth. I am your man 50 gram, more wrapped in saran, Scoop Doggy Dog himself, Dwayne Adams. Let's get into it right away. First thing I want to talk about is the new animated limited series coming to Disney Plus on August 1st, Eyes of Wakanda. Now, I've been hearing about this for a couple of years, knowing that it was going to be an anthology series going back into the history of the Black Panther. And basically, the way it was described was that it was going to be like spy missions of agents of Wakanda traveling around the world to retain stolen artifacts. And kind of surprised when I saw a trailer for it this week and knowing that it was dropping on Friday without much fanfare, not much of a big push. The artwork has a kind of cool Prince of Egypt look to it, and there was a lot of cool elements in there. I even saw the Iron Fist, so I'm very excited to see that episode. But yeah, the mystery here is, why isn't Marvel pushing this show? Now, the big card behind it is the man behind the Black Panther series, Ryan Coogler, who we all know also just hit a major industry home run with Sinners. So they had his name all over this. But once again, no interviews, no press, no nothing. And my thoughts behind this is because of Ironheart, because they had his name attached to Ironheart as executive producer, not writer or director, which you can clearly see in the show. It's a horrible show. Despite the racist trolls online, it is absolutely terribly written, horribly directed, unbelievable characters, except for the end, which with Mephisto, it feels like a totally different show by that point. So I think because of that misfire, that they're just going to drop Eyes of Wakanda on Friday and see how it goes. I think they might be confident behind it, so they're going to be quiet and let the work speak for itself. But we shall see on Friday. Yes, very weird about that. And staying on the Marvel topic, a little bit of news coming in about our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the new upcoming movie which will be released in 2026, Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're now learning that it is going to take place 1 year before the events of Doomsday. So that should be really interesting. You know, the end credit scenes are going to be crazy for that. Now we're going to have the Incredible Hulk in this, and also the weirdest wild card, Punisher. How does Punisher fit into a Spider-Man movie? Well, according to Kevin Feige, he says that it's going to be a very street level movie. And I'm wondering if it's going to take any elements from The Amazing Spider-Man number 12, which is Spidey versus the Hulk. But I still don't know how they're going to incorporate the Punisher. I'm imagining if you're going against Hulk, webs and acrobatics is not going to cut it. So I think we're going to see a lot of brutality, but more on a monster level, so that we can get away with a lot of violence in this. And if they even bring in the symbiote into this, because I read somewhere that the only time Hulk was afraid of Spider-Man was when he had to confront the symbiote. So that would be very interesting to see too. Well, I'll keep you updated on that. And moving on, Arnold Schwarzenegger might be back for another Predator movie. This comes from one of the directors of the animated Predator series, which is also on Disney Plus, Killer of Killers, which is fantastic. What a great watch. Very well done. Good storytelling. It's a good way of tying in these little anthology tales. I thought it was very well done. So one of those directors says that he's been cooking up ideas ever since running into Schwarzenegger at Comic-Con recently, the San Diego Comic-Con. And I believe him, because it may sound corny based on what we've seen with Arnold Schwarzenegger returning for the last couple of Terminator movies. But I think with a good storyline, if you're going to bring him into the present. I'd like to see him as part of a black ops, continuum, but now he's the one assembling the soldiers who are going to take on, the Predator. And it would be really cool if it was like a Alien versus Predator, but done much better than the AVPs that we got in the past, especially the Requiem one. That one was horrible. But to see Schwarzenegger going up against Predator and Aliens, I think that'd be really dope. We'll see how that works out. I know a lot of people might not be down for it, but I think a storyline like that could definitely work. And another piece of news, now this is not new news, but it is news that has been under the radar for those of you who are David Lynch fans, Lynchians, big fans of Twin Peaks and all of his work, especially the last one, Twin Peaks: The Return. I've always considered David Lynch to be my teacher. We know that he had a series in the making that he was going to shot for at Netflix called Unrecorded Night. Now, that went on for a while with no sort of development growth. Apparently, the head of Netflix kept delaying it over and over again and passed on it during COVID. Now, I know that Lynch has a animated fairy tale that I think was completed, but the Unrecorded Night, which was going to star Kyle MacLachlan, Naomi Watts, Laura Dern, pretty much a lot of the cast who are still around from the last Twin Peaks, they were going to be in this series. And a lot of people for a while speculated that it was somehow connected to Twin Peaks. If you've seen the way that series ended, mind-blowing ending, and the implications of time, alternate realities, and what could lie in the future for Twin Peaks. We thought this was going to be the world that, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, that Cooper and Laura end up in. So his longtime producer, Sabrina Sutherland, stated that it is not connected to Twin Peaks, even though Mark Frost, his longtime collaborator and a co-writer and co-producer of Twin Peaks, had said that there was an idea cooking up for season 4, but unfortunately when he got sick, it never came to fruition. So I'm just reporting this because as a diehard David Lynch fan, I was really hoping to see one last piece of his work come out, and just to know that Netflix greenlights so much crappy movies, and to pass on something as innovative as a new television series from David Lynch. Someone needs to be kicked in the nuts over at Netflix. Okay. And it's not really big news. It's just something really cool and fun that I love seeing. And it's Galactus devouring the SDCC. Whoever this person is who came out in this costume, kudos, hats off, and I salute you. That is probably the sickest Galactus outfit I've ever seen. Shout out to the Sue Storm looking up at him. That is such an awesome picture. And let's go with one last cool piece of information here. Another big movie that everyone is looking forward to, and we've been waiting so long, since I think 2022 or 2021 when The Batman first dropped. Matt Reeves' The Batman. Well, now that Matt Reeves has submitted his script and James Gunn loves it, I'm pretty sure there's some little tweaks that need to go in there. The talk has started of who will be the villain or the villains for the Batman 2. So I'm just going to read off a real quick list here of some of the rumors going around and some of the names that are being thrown out, and let me know which ones you want to see in the sequel. Riddler coming back, of course, because we know he's locked up. Penguin. If you have not watched the Penguin series, I highly recommend you find a way to do that. That was on par with The Sopranos. I know that's a bold thing to say, but watch it and then come back and talk to me. Next, Hush. And I'm not going to go into details of who these characters are, just in case of, giving away too much spoilers. If you want to find out for yourself, by all means, look it up. Or if you have played any of the Arkham games, you probably are very familiar with his rogue gallery of villains. There's talk of Clayface, but we also know there's a Clayface movie coming that was supposed to be directed by Mike Flanagan, which is totally separate from this Matt Reeves movie. It's going to be a standalone horror movie with no Batman, I believe. Another villain, or a group of villains, I should say, which I would like to see, especially if we're going to be delving deeper into the corruption of Gotham City. Court of Owls. I'd like to see Matt Reeves' depiction of the Court of Owls. Holy macaroni, that'll be very dope. We got Mr. Freeze. I don't know how they would make a grounded version of Mr. Freeze, but it would be interesting to see. Two-Face, and we already got our dose of the Joker in the end of the Batman in the extended unreleased scene as well. So I don't know, they all sound good to me, and especially the way the Riddler and everyone was portrayed in the last one. I'm very excited to see what Matt Reeves is going to do for this new one. And out of these villains, are there any ones that you think would make a great series to follow up the Penguin series? Let me know in the comments. So that is it. Also, if you don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, and if your fingers still have energy, you click that notification button so you know when the next video comes out. And if there's any of you who are into speculative fiction and you're into time travel, conspiracy theories, dreams, nightmares, especially the JFK assassination and stuff of that nature, I have my book that is out now everywhere called The House of Infinite Doors. You can definitely check it out. It's available on ebook and it's available on print as well. And I also have a tie-in series, a short story connected to that book called Tales from the House of Infinite Doors, which is available for pre-order. If you're into that kind of stuff and you want to show your support, by all means, you see the little QR code there, you give it a scan, and in advance, thank you for your support. All right, that's your news for today, and I will catch you on the next flight. Peace.